Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful spring morning here, 68 degrees. I like a couple clouds in the sky, but pretty clear. How are you? Great to hear it. As always, we're driving into work, Gettysburg. And, we're going to see what's going on. We'll drive through the battlefield for you. Calvin, good morning to you. Great day for scraping cow crap. Congratulations. Congratulations. Good morning, Getty's Nerds trademark. Hashtag 2026Q, says Matthew Gillespie. Babra, Yaya Drive. Good morning, Babra. Babra, I saw your lengthy complaint on the Tavern Talk video. And the first thing I'm going to do when I get into the studio is go into YouTube and investigate why there's so many ads. When YouTube places the ads automatically, and I think sometimes when it's a long video, like the longer the video it is, the more ads they throw in there, and the more frequently that lady just put her kid in the car and bumped his head. But I do believe that I have the power to go in and delete, well, all of them if I wanted to, but I delete a good chunk of them. So I will make it more palatable for people like you who are spending their hard-earned money on our show. I will make it easier for you to view it for free. I promise. And I like how you preempted my response, because I didn't read the whole I didn't read the whole comment you left, and I just commented it's free. Then I read the rest of your comment, and you were like, I know you're going to say it's free. So then I deleted that, and I said there are no ads on this video at patreon.com/addressing Gettysburg. And that's really a message for everybody. If you're sick of ads on our YouTube shows, there's no ads on patreon.com/addressing Gettysburg. And by that I mean there's no YouTube ads. We run our own ads because we have to keep the lights on. But yeah. So there you go. So Babra, squeaky wheel gets the oil. Not all the time. Sometimes I prefer the squeak of the wheel. Mr. Gutty, good morning to you. Valerie, good morning. Tom, be there in over 3 weeks. Tom, I can't believe you're coming to town. We're going to be in, well, I guess it depends on how long you're staying. We're going to be in South Carolina till Wednesday of that week. So I don't know if you're staying into the weekend or something, and maybe I will be back. Eric Houston, happy Get Out of the Car Tour Eve, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. And Eric put the, hold on. Oh, there you go. I had some sparkling water, and I was debating whether I should just let out a really loud belch or stifle it to be polite, and I decided to stifle it. You're welcome. Eric put together our Get Out of the Car Tour season with Lewis, and they did a good job with that. We have material for you to go and download so that you can prepare for the tour. That's a new feature to the Get Out of the Car Tours. Also, the other new feature is they're 45 minutes to an hour long, and they're discussions. So bring a chair. Forecast is calling for rain, but I must be honest with you. The forecast was calling for a week of clouds and in the 50s. And the last 3 days, it's been sunny like this and in the mid-70s to lower 80s. So I'm not believing the forecast. Now, famous last words. It could possibly very well be accurate for tomorrow. Usually when they say rain on the weekend, there's rain on the weekend. They're wrong during the week, and it gives us hope for the weekend. And then the weekend comes, and we go, God damn it. So who knows? So I would prepare for some rain. You know, a poncho, an umbrella. You've been in rain before. You know how it works. But of course, we figure the soldiers had to deal with rain, heat, snow, sleet, mud, diarrhea. It's the least we can do to honor their sacrifice, and so we go rain or shine. As Lewis always says, if it ain't raining, you ain't training. And I say, if it ain't wetting, you ain't respecting. It's not as good, but you get the point. So now that you've been guilted into showing up tomorrow, we hope to see you there. I can't believe the promo video for that for this tour has received over 18,000 views. Usually the promo videos barely crack 1,000. So that's I think it's because of Mikey B's smiling face on the thumbnail. Morning, Tim. I'll call you after this is over. Good morning from St. Cloud, Florida, says Faye. Barbara says, haha, sorry, had to do it. I know you did. I know, Barbara. You can't help yourself. You're like the man singing to Sugar Pie Honey Bunch. You can't help yourself. Matthew, grab yourself a Friday morning coffee. See you tomorrow, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Come hell or high water, Matthew. I know you'll be there. And thank you very much for the coffee. Francis, hello. Ty says, Matt laughing at a baby's pain. The world is right again. Yeah, I follow this YouTube channel called Kids Getting Hurt, which is hilarious. They never show them when they actually get hurt. They just fall down and cry because they get scared, but they're fine. It's all in good fun. But I don't know. It always makes me laugh when kids fall. When anybody falls, it makes me laugh. As long as there's no blood or broken bones or concussions, I feel okay laughing. Because when I fall, I laugh. I remember one time I was walking down concrete stairs right after a snow, and I was going into the basement of the house I was living in to get the snow shovel, which I forgot to take out of the basement. And I slipped on the snow. It was that slippery kind of snow, and went straight down on my back like Daniel Stern in Home Alone, and whacked the back of my head hard on the step. Luckily, there was about 6 inches of snow that I hope kind of padded my fall, but to be honest, I've never been the same since. Anyway, point is, the first thing I did was go, well, I won't say what I said, but I used a string of expletives, and I took a breath and started laughing. Then, because I realized I was walking downstairs with my morning shake, and it spilled all over my clothes. And I went in, and everybody else had a good laugh too. Point being, people falling is funny. 6Q's test is Sunday. Cannot wait for the good news and for a new guest guide on our show. He's been chomping at the bit. He's done a great job as a member of the Peanut Gallery, throwing in his 2 cents. But I have strict rules about being. I mean, he could have always asked to come on with a guide. I'm surprised he never did that. And I'm surprised I never thought of that. But usually people ask when they do that. They ask to do it, and I set it up. But either way, Mikey 6 Questions Lens will one day soon be on the show as a full-fledged licensed battlefield guide. And the world will be a better place. What am I going to say? Right? It's going to be a better place. Barbara says, I still didn't finish watching it. I was up to the Q&A by the audience. Barbara, I hate to tell you, that's just the beginning. The whole show is discussion with the audience, so you didn't get very far, apparently. Let's see. Oh, you'll be back late, Memorial Day and Labor Day. Okay, good. So we'll get to see you. I can't go through a year without seeing our Tommy C. You know, it doesn't feel like, because ever since you started coming around, I think you've been here at least once a year, and we've always seen you once a year, and we like having you around. Sometimes we've seen you more than once a year. Those are the better years. Faye says, I plan on spending the weekend in catch-up mode on the AG account. Very smart, very smart. Work always gets in the way. It always gets in my way, too. Funny how that works. Valerie says, FYI, Patreon gave me an issue a few weeks ago. I had initially signed up with my Apple. Oh, don't sign up with your Apple account. Oh, let me remind you, Elle, because I told our patrons this a while ago. Well, go ahead. Let me read what you said. I initially signed up with my Apple account, but for whatever reason, I couldn't get back into it. I had to re-sign up through my Gmail account. Yes. Okay. Here's something, and this is Apple doing this. A year or two ago, Apple said to everybody who has an app in the App Store that you can no longer be on our App Store if you don't allow, first of all, make it so that people can sign up through the App Store. And when they do, listen to this, we get to tack on a service fee. And I don't think it's like insubstantial or what's the word I'm looking for? Insignificant. I think it's like $30 or $20 or something like that. So if you are already a patron and you signed up through your Apple Podcast app, that extra fee is not going to me. It's not. Oh no, I'm sorry. Part of it goes to me. I think part of it goes to Patreon, but I have to wait up to 72 days to see my portion of it. And I don't know how long Patreon waits, but it's completely avoidable. And I don't. If you're going to spend more money on this stuff, I'd rather you actually get something more out of it than just helping Apple out. Like Apple needs our help. So it's completely avoidable. And how you avoid it is by signing up through any other means. So I think Valerie said that she signed up through her Gmail account. Do it that way, and you won't have that extra fee from Apple. I don't know if Patreon. No, Patreon takes the fee from me. So I think you're okay there. So if you, as you should, become a $25 member before the price goes up, you should lock that in, and you should only have to pay $25, and then I'll have my feedback out of that for Patreon, and the world will be right. Supposedly, you guys should not have to pay more than what you want to donate. So yeah, so that's the thing. So what to do if you already have signed up through your Apple account is uh, you you cancel your account through the Apple account, and then you go in and sign in with your email, and there you go. So you sign in and re-up. They all watch the promo to see me, said Eric. You're probably right, Eric. They probably did want to see you. Estelle says, let me know when in the fall you will be in. Oh, to Tom. Okay. Hey, Estella, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Good morning from Troy, Ohio, says JM. Six questions says 100%, Eric. Ty Webb says, I'm supposed to have diarrhea at the tour. All of us are. When you're on a tour with Trot, your guts are in a knot. Diarrhea. Diarrhea. Oh, I remember that. When you're on a tour with Trot and your guts are in a knot. Maybe we could forego the diarrhea, but you might get wet. The soldiers would want that. Barbara says, you won't be laughing when you fall and can't get up. I'd like to think I will, Barbara. I'd like to think I will. Now, if I break something, that's another story. But, because the first thing that pops into my brain is what it must have looked like to see me fall. you know? So I would be that person with the life alert thing, and I would press the button, and they'd be like, "Yes, Mr. Calorie, what can we do for you?" And I'd be, saying I've fallen and I can't get up, but through laughter. And they'd be like, "Are you serious, Mr. Calorie, or is this another prank?" And I'd be like, "No, it's real, but it just had to look funny. I can't wait to see my Ring camera." You know. Mr. Gutty with the $10. Thank you very much, sir. Says, have missed the last few releases. Looking forward to catching up on the first Minnesota VF Tavern Talk and Lockwood's Brigade. Love Ralph and Stu. Yeah, they are. What would you say? Classics. Classics. And by classics, I mean like you just can't help but like listening to them. You always know when they're good when I don't have to ask a lot of questions. Not that me asking a lot of questions means they're bad. Also, it's, maybe sometimes it's just I'm afraid to interrupt them. Grant, of course, causing big controversy, an international incident, if you will, as court framed it yesterday. He called in and called Stewie, and then asked a question that was asked 4 times already or something like that. And he was very smart because he started the call off with, "I just tuned in, so I don't know what I missed." Perfect setup. He was watching all along, heard me say in the beginning, Stu doesn't like to go or prefers to go by Stuart, and he comes in with the Stewie, and then he asked the question that was asked over and over again, and Grant is a classic ball busting comedian. Calvin says there is a fantastic subreddit called "Kids Are Fucking Stupid." It's a lot of stuff like that. Hilarious. Yeah, that's great. That's great. We all were stupid. We all fell down. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Hello. I mean, we sang it, even though that was about the Black Death, but still. Six Question says, thank you, Matthew. I get to give a tour of the battlefield at Gettysburg. How cool is that? You get to give a tour, and at the end of it, receive word that you have a license. And then we celebrate, and we book you for an Ask a Guide. In fact, actually, Mike, no pressure, but you better get the license on Sunday, because we don't have any Ask a Guide scheduled until the end of May, which means we have to edit a few of the ones in the can. But we're going to the Red Badge of Courage set next week, so that'll eat up a couple days, and we might not have the time to do that. So I would love it if we could schedule you. I guess it would be the first. Yeah, it would be the first Wednesday in May. But so no pressure, but don't fail. Okay, let's get it on the first try. Wonder Monkey says, can you tag along on his first tour to give like a behind the scenes stuff? Mike and I started, and I really wish I had had more time this year. We started, and I think this was Ty Webb's idea, a documentary on his journey trying to get the license. And we probably could as a retrospective, but it's not the same. Called Falling for History, the Mike Lentz story. And we did like 1 or 2 sit-down interviews. Maybe it was just one. And Tad wasn't around yet. Like now, I would send Tad. I'd be like, Tad, I'll take care of this thing, or Tad, you stay here and take care of this thing, and I'm going to go out and shoot Mike giving a practice tour or something like that. Because and I don't think the park would have liked us. No. To answer your question, no, I'm not going to be able to go on the oral exam with him and get that. They're not into making a spectacle of this thing. To be fair, Barbara got trapped in YouTube ad hell. Well, I just found out that the algorithm knows when somebody just consumes for free and then complains in the comment section about things they're getting for free. It actually can detect that, and so it makes them watch more ads. I just saw that pop up on a news feed this morning, and so that might be it, Babra. Either lessen the complaining about free things, or go to patreon.com/addressing Gettysburg and become a member today. Babra says, does 6Q have a specific area of interest or expertise? Just everything? Great question. Great question. That is a good question. Let's see if he answers that in a second here. Barbara says, no, I go through most of it. I'm at the last part. I'm way behind here. I like to talk about women, children, medicine, and that Washington only went home 8 days. Sorry, I misread that. Washington only went home Q days in 8 years, or whatever it was. That's a testament to Martha, although she did visit the Army often. But what a patient and supportive wife that she could only see her husband at home for Q days. 6 questions says, Willard's Brigade, 9 months regiments, Dole's Brigade, cavalry actions during the Gettysburg campaign. I also have a passion for both armies reorganized between Chancellorsville and Gettysburg. Yeah, that is interesting. I like that part too. Well, good, Mike. You know what? These are some good topics for AXCA guides. So let me know which one you want to do first. And seriously, all joking aside, you don't have to do it right after you get your license on Sunday. You could take your time and tell me when you're ready to do it, and then we'll set it up. JM, it is a beautiful morning for a ride. Great weather for driving with the windows open and my shorts off. See you tomorrow, Estella. Looking forward to it. Bring an umbrella and bring a chair. Brian says, looks like North Carolina. Oh, is that true? I've never been. I'll be in South Carolina next week, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks in May. I was just in Gettysburg for an archaeology conference. Beautiful out there. Yeah, it is. Archaeology, that sounds cool. Nothing says an immersive experience like being deathly ill, cold, and wet. That'll be us tomorrow. Faye says, you're in my favorite place on the battlefield. Don't know why, but Oak Ridge is it. Oak Ridge is a cool spot. Great spot to watch the fireworks from on 4th of July. Great spot to watch the sunset from. Oak Hill, more than Oak Ridge, but still. It's really purty out there. Riding the Dutch Gal says, have a great weekend, Matt. Thank you very much, sir. I will. I hope. 6 questions. If Matt agrees, I would love to hear about Willard's Brigade. Yeah, we could do a Willard's Brigade one. We've done a Willard's Brigade. Actually, did we do 2? I think we did 2 Willard's Brigade episodes. Oh, no, one was Willard's Brigade, one was Barksdale's Brigade, but they fought each other, so I guess that's why I thought that. So if you're hankering for Willard's Brigade, until we can do it with Mike, you can go back and, just go to our YouTube channel or wherever you listen to the show and search for Willard's Brigade, and it'll come up. It's probably 4 years old by now, maybe more. But we did that. And then, yeah, we'll get Mike on to do that. Barbara says, ha, falling for history. Now that's funny. Sorry, 6Q. BKW, I think that was Ty Webb's title, if I may give credit to where it's due. BKW says, morning, Matt. Big week for me. I became a granddad on Tuesday morning. Congratulations. Congratulations. After witnessing my parents become grandchildren, I don't know if this is your first or not, but I remember when my nephew was born, he was the first, and my sister and I used to be like, gee, I wish you were this nice to us when we were kids. But of course, our grandparents were, and our parents were they had to be the meanies, as it always is. And so then we get to see this. It's the circle of life, folks. You're disgusted by your children. You're embarrassed by your children. Your grandchildren can do no wrong. Valerie says, thank you for the explanation about Apple. I had no idea. I was enjoying the Patreon stuff. I'll have to re-sign up under this new Gmail account. Yeah, well, if you already did, then I think you're okay. Bob Pasamenti. Oh, wow, $50. Thank you, sir. That helps when the gas is the way it is nowadays. Hoofa. It's like, I think, $28 a gallon here in Gettysburg. But that's because it's a tourist town and they're gouging. A very good morning to you, Matt, Bob says. He continues, glad I have the morning off and caught the stream. Your new content is setting the bar even higher. That's our goal. Thank you, sir. But I'm wondering, as a medically licensed healthcare professional, how many hours do you actually sleep each night? Funny you should ask that. And I think you're just being funny there. But according to my watch, I do not get enough restorative sleep. I am not sleeping. I think that is less to do with because I'm up late working and more to do with stress. So I actually, my blood pressure is through the roof. I went to the cardiologist yesterday and I was like, yo. So like my blood pressure is like 164 over 114 every morning. And, I'm taking 2 medications for this. And the second medication I've only been taking for a week as of yesterday. So she said, well, the second medication is going to take a week or so to get working for you, number one. Number two, you're an idiot. Number three, your blood pressure today is lower. And it was like 140 over 88 or something like that. And I go, well, that's as good as it's going to get because I haven't been 120 over 80 since I was probably 14 years old. So, sorry. But yeah, all out of sorts. We're supposed to go down to South Carolina for Cindy's daughter's graduation, but that won't be a relaxing trip for me. So I'm not even going to really catch a break there. I anticipate a complete physical and mental breakdown within 3 weeks anyway. So that's when I'll get my rest, when I'm in the hospital from exhaustion. But we got a lot of stuff to do. A lot of stuff to do. A few years ago, I could take time. It was not a competitive field. And now it's a different story. And so, and then when you have bigger dogs kind of glomming and doing stuff that you do already, it's a little disconcerting. And, it's, you got to work extra hard in the hopes that you could someday actually be competitive. So, you got to work. You got to work. What's that? The old saying is, plenty of time to rest when I'm dead. And that might actually be within the next 3 months. So we'll see. But thank you for the recognition and concern there. I would imagine as a medical professional, you would be able to do the math and figure that sleep and rest is not really something I get to do much. And then when I do, all I'm thinking about is what I'm not working on. So it's completely useless. And that's why my strategy is to rest when I've collapsed, because then I'll have no choice. I've noticed that when the body is ill, the mind doesn't care what it's not working on because it's too tired and it's too focused on getting better physically. So I figure that's why I have to get to that point. We'll see. We'll see. I'll let you know how it goes when I'm going through it. Always the joy of cooking says, are you, I was asking 6 questions. Are you able to give tours right after you get your license? Do tours have to be booked through the Gettysburg Foundation or can they be booked directly through you? I'm sure he's answering that, but for people who aren't seeing the comments because you're watching this archived, I believe he can give the tour as soon as he gets the license. And you don't have to book him through anything. You can book him privately. You better believe that once he is available, we will be promoting our friend Mikey. And Mikey has also agreed to be the licensed battlefield guide in residence. This is it's technically addressing Gettysburg's licensed battlefield guide in residence. This is a title that I came up with. Well, actually, the title I came up with was Resident Licensed Battlefield Guide. But Mike said, I think Licensed Battlefield Guide in Residence sounds fancier. And I said, I think you're right. I agree. Let's call it that. But this is actually before we ever started. This was a title that I wanted to give someone on the show. And believe it or not, the way the show was originally configured, Eric Lindblade and my friend Pete and I were going to do the show. Originally, we were going to do the show remotely from New Jersey with Eric, on Zoom or whatever. Oh, they didn't have Zoom then. It was whatever the hell it would have been, Skype, I guess. And he was going to be the resident licensed battlefield guide. And we were going to do the shows totally differently than the way they were now. It was, basically Pete and I would I was kind of the guy who knew enough, and Pete was the everyman who didn't know anything. And we were going to ask Eric questions based on a given topic. But then Eric fell off the face of the earth contact-wise, and a year later or so, after I put out our first episode, he and Jim put out theirs. So little did I realize that's why he fell off the face of the earth. I think. I don't know. But anyway, so ever since then, I've been waiting for somebody to have that. And Mike, 6 questions, Lentz, I remember when I realized, there's no way that this guy's not going to eventually, at some point, get his license. Just from talking to him, from the way he's able, honestly, from the way guides respect him and how he's bailed a few guides out when they were having brain farts during a show, and he would give the answer from the peanut gallery. That's what I knew. I'm like, this guy's going to be it. And he is one of us. He is from our ranks. And so when he gets that license, he will be the first one to hold it. And you'll start to see as time goes on, just what that means. But anyway, my point is, you better believe that you can send me an email if you want, and I will put you in touch with Mike. I mean, obviously, a lot of you are friends with him on Facebook, so it's not hard for you to just go and contact him there. But if you're not friends with him on Facebook, he's very selective as to who he accepts requests from. But if you're not, you can contact the show and we will put you in touch. It doesn't cost you, actually, it costs you a little less than going through, because we don't charge any kind of service fee or anything like that at this point. And we're not going to do that with Mike, but we have an idea for a service later on. But anyway, yeah, we'll put you in touch with them, and then you guys can set it up with them. We do that all the time for guides and listeners, so, and we're happy to do it, especially for our patrons. Usually that's how people will contact me, is through Patreon. And did I not go down? Where am I? Did I not go down Confederate Avenue? No, I didn't, did I? Okay, we're going down Confederate Avenue then. Tad's going to be late to work today, so I'm like, you know what? It's too freaking nice out, and Barbara's commercials can wait. I'm gonna go for a drive. Wow, a Hornet. Look at that. I have never seen a Hornet. I've never heard of a Hornet. Oh, man, it smells like the 80s. This reminds me of what life was like before emission standards. Hoofa! Well, all of those topics that Mike listed there that he likes, we can do over time for sure. I mean, we're always looking for topics to talk about and all that jazz. Eric reminds us that we did an Willard's Brigade Get Out of the Car tour. That is correct. Yes, you're right. We did. I remember that one. That was a good one. That was a Memorial Day one, if I recall. All right, here we go. Moving right along. I never like to be stuck in the box. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. A couple weeks to process the uniform, or process the paperwork, get the uniform, get the badge. Okay, forgive me. You can't get. So yeah, I guess you can't give a tour if you don't have a uniform and a badge. That makes sense. You don't have your uniform all ready to go, Mike? I thought you would have had it. Oh, Tad's there. Okay, I guess he's not going to be late. Well, Tad, if you're watching this, sorry, I thought you were going to be late. So let me give these fine people their drive down Confederate Avenue, and then, yeah, and I'll be there. JM says, side note, AG apparel on the Heritage Depot is legit. The core badge hoodie is highly recommended. Thank you. Actually, yeah, I got some pictures to put up. One of our listeners, Matt Arlett, brings his students out here to Gettysburg for 4 days or so every year. And for the last 3 or 4, I believe, he's been ordering special made hoodies from a dress in Gettysburg with, one of our designs on it. And, like this year it says history is not boring on the back. Yeah, and some pictures of him and the kids. And what's great is yesterday there were tons of staff rides all over the place. You could tell just by the way they carry themselves. And Matt's group of students stood out to me as I was driving on the battlefield amidst these various groups, because they were the only one that had any semblance of order. There they were marching in a column of fours. Matt at the head, and you could tell that he taught them how to march and everything. And I said, "This is great." So I got out of the car and followed them, and then when they halted, I caught up to Matt, and he made the kids show their sweatshirts to the camera, and we got some photos that we'll share on our socials there. But yeah, thank you very much for that, JM. I appreciate that. It's actually Getty's Nerd apparel at the Heritage Depot, which is our store, and yeah, it's on our website. We're actually Stephen Taft and I have been talking about different promo videos and everything. I think you might be surprised, ladies and gents, at the end of the year, let's say a year from now, and you look back on the Addressing Gettysburg content from that year, you might say, how do you do this with no money? And I might say, well, we have some, but it's not, not as much as it looks like we have. And I think that is the big lesson I got out of my life, which is you're never going to have it all. So do the best with what you do have, and then a little better. And a little better is always possible. You just have to want to do it. And it never pays off. This is the thing. It never pays off. Nobody notices. When Tad and I are editing stuff, and I like hone in on one little minute detail. Like, I don't know how, I'll give you an example. We were with the intro for the Tavern Talks, and the music plays, and there's a little graphic title sequence or whatever, and and then the music, kind of fades out. So Tad had it originally where the music faded out, and then it goes to the show, to the Tavern Talk. I said, no, Tad. You got to pull the show fading out, or the song fading out, or pull the Tavern Talk over so that the song is fading out under us talking. And he kind of like, because it's, a little extra work for him to do. And I go, you can all you want, but that makes a difference. And I go, but the thing is, no one's going to notice it. No one's going to notice if we did that, but they will notice if we didn't do that. And the reason is because everybody is used to it being done the way I want it done, because that's how they do it on television. That's how they do it in movies. That's how you do it. And so we did. Good morning, Jeff. Always enjoy cooking. Are you going to be able to check out any history stuff? No, unfortunately, we're not. It's down one day, graduation the next day, back the next day. We do not. We had last year or 2 years ago when we were buying a house, we had planned a trip in August to go down there and spend time with her and go into Charleston and everything. And we made that plan in the spring, and then June we started looking for houses, and we had a house under contract in August or coming up. Yeah, no, it was in August, and the whole process was going to go through while we were away. And I said to Cindy, I go, look, we're about to buy a house. I consider a vacation frivolous. We don't need it, and it would be irresponsible of us to go on vacation in the middle of closing. And she reluctantly agreed, and so we canceled the trip. So we didn't end up going. I would like to go. Here's my thing, and this is okay. Let me just make sure I don't lose you here, because this is one of those spots. It's a clear day, so I'm hoping no, but let's see. On a clear day, rise and look around you. Okay, I think we're in the clear. All right. Okay, I think we're good so far. Anyway, I what's the word? Oh, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I think vacations are a waste of time for me, because work is never done. So all I would end up doing is either thinking about work while I'm on vacation and not enjoying myself, or working on work on vacation, and all I'm really doing is working in a different office. And so I see it as a waste of money. And I also just can't stand traveling, the process of traveling. However, if it's for work, I don't mind it at all, because ostensibly I'm getting paid. So this 4-hour drive that we're going to have to do down to Petersburg next week. Am I looking forward to a 4-hour drive? No, but I'm not the one driving. And we're going to have that opportunity to talk business while also filming the drive content for whatever we need it for. And then while we're down there, we'll be working, making connections, hopefully, and making something that, will hopefully do better for our business later on. To me, that is an enjoyable vacation. That's a vacation to me. And also I feel that way because, like, it took so long for me to, like, find gainful employment and a purpose in my life that I feel like my life was a vacation up until I was like 40. So, I mean, it wasn't a great vacation because I was broke, but, like, still, I had plenty of free time. I don't need to go somewhere else to enjoy myself. I don't need a change of scenery to enjoy myself. I don't need a cruise. I don't need loud noises. I don't need all bungee jumping. I don't need all these things that people seem to need. And to me, they're not fun. They're not an adventure. They're not even an experience. You're just like cattle just being herded through. And so, yeah, I'm such a curmudgeon when it comes to this stuff. Barbara, and this is why Barbara and I get along, because I understand her curmudgeonly ways. Believe me, I do. I have the same freaking complaints when I watch other people's stuff. Not the same. I understand the use of music. She doesn't understand art, but I understand art. But, like, I understand a lot of where she's coming from, because I have always been, as Bethany pointed out, an old man. Even when I was a child, I was an old man. I would say, "What's with these kids today?" And my grandparents would be like, "You're 9 years old. What are you talking about? You are a kid." I'm not like them. Bob says, "Stay on top of that pressure. Any questions, feel free to hit me up. Quite happy to help." I will. Thank you. I will. Yeah, I will on both points. I'll stay on top of it, and I'll hit you up. Mr. Gutty says you need a rotation out of the trenches. It's not a rotation if you don't have somebody going in your stead. That's the problem. Haven't slept a solid night in a month, says Jeff. Way too much going on and can't shut the brain off. Yeah, it's really weird. I fall asleep on the couch or the lazy boy every night, and almost to the like literally almost to the minute, I look at my watch and it's 1:41 when I wake up. Not 1:40, not 1:42, not 1:48, 1:41. It's the weirdest thing. But yeah, I can't get full real rest. Um, you know, I would love to. I would love to be able to take care of myself, but I don't have the time, or I can't manage my time and make time to take care of myself. Kevin says, "Great title for 6." Yeah, I agree, and I think it's fitting that he is the first one, perhaps the only ever, to hold that title on Addressing Gettysburg, because, like I said, he's one of us. He's been with us since the beginning. I remember he was one of the first people whose name I very quickly came to know, and his nickname very quickly came in because he would always have really good questions, and I was like, this guy already knows the answers. By the third time that he sent questions, and I was like, okay, he knows the answers already, but I get what he's doing, and this is very helpful. And then of course he got his nickname, Six Questions Lentz, and a character almost was born. He's I would say probably more known than I am, and I'm on every show. But he has a fan club for sure, and I know how hard he has studied and worked, and the things that he has sacrificed in order to remain here to take that test. He was always committed to taking that test, and many have said he should be committed for how much he was committed to taking that test. And I say no, that's just what commitment looks like, and people who say that don't know what it looks like. And then I start banging a drum and I say, "This is what commitment looks like," and then people make fun of me, rightfully so. And yeah, so Six Questions has to be our first licensed battlefield guide in residence. Faux show. Faux show. Right? Oops. The speed up light here is a little longer because it's a wider intersection. Right, Ty. The AGLBGIR. That's going to take a while to get used to saying. AGLBGIR. Going to have to practice that. Tad, there's Tad. Okay, so Tad knows what's up. Poor kid sitting there waiting. Says, "Don't forget, I'm going to be late tomorrow, possibly by 6 or 8 hours." And I was like, "Well, that's a whole work day." And he said, "Okay, maybe 1 or 2." And he was early. He's usually a half hour late, but here he was a half hour early. So we'll see Tad in a moment when we pull up. Mike setting the bar high for AG Loti. Well, I have an announcement to make about the Loti. The Loti Award has gone through a name change, and I'll explain it after I tell you what the new name of it is. The official name of the Loti Award from this day forward is the Jeffrey Pasnick, the Jeffrey Pasnick Listener of the Year Award. And I'm going to tell you why, ladies and gentlemen. All of our listeners of the year have gone above and beyond what is required of a listener. Or not required, hoped for, but required if you want to be considered for the LOTI. They've all gone above and beyond. But Jeff, and you just heard him say how much he has going on, and he can't quiet his mind, and he can't get a good night's sleep, and all this stuff. And I know what he's got going on because we've talked, and he's just got a lot of stuff to deal with work and all that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he still takes the time, and I can't believe he does this. He still takes the time to listen to every episode, like the latest episode, with a fine-tooth comb and notate the topics that we talk about and provide appropriate links when possible. So, like, if you notice, the show notes on recent shows have had all this stuff. They've been a little bit more, there's been more care put into them. When I used to do the show notes, I'd be like, Ralph Siegel's back to talk about the first Minnesota, and that's about it. Well, Jeff has been writing proper show notes, and it has been a huge help to me. And he's done other things which will be listed when the LOTI Award is given this year. Now, he, of course, can receive the LOTI Award, but we were like, well, how can we recognize that he's actually gone above and beyond since receiving the award? He's done more since receiving the award. And I said, I know, we're just going to name the award after him, like the Cecil B. DeMille Award or the other guy award, where this will be the Pasnick Award. It'll eventually be known as the Pasnick. So there you go. All right, Tad's getting his hard hands. Jesus Christ. Exploited labor, whatever. I did like the cards showing what was the next. Okay, so Barbara did like the title cards. The other people thought it was too distracting. Okay, yeah. All right, well, listen, I'm going to skip through these here and get inside. Oh, look at that. Michael Rengert is sitting at the First Minnesota listening to your First Minnesota podcast, and I saw your car drive across the field from me. Fantastic. That's awesome. And there's poor Tad waiting. Give us the hard hands. They want hard hands, Tad. Give them hard hands.
Well, I can't do it.
Well, put it down.
This is just dance, monkey dance.
Stop that. All right. Morning from New Jersey. There you go. Where we were in Gettysburg yesterday. Oh, very nice. Wundermunke says, I was robbed. Freeloader. What was you robbed of? What were you robbed of? Mike is not only crazy knowledgeable, but very kind and personable. Absolute guy material. Yes, he is. I'm so sorry I haven't been as much. I'm trying my hardest to hang on to my little title of Listener of the Year. Oh, that's all right. Well, in typical human fashion, Estella, once you get the award, well, then you don't need to do anything, right? Like, that's it. It's like once let's see, what's a thing that happens all the time to people? Oh, like, I'll work really hard to get the promotion, and then once I get the promotion, after a while, I start skating, There's one for a second, then I know upcoming untimely demise, and the Jeff fortunately meant is pathetic and not prophetic. Truer words have never been spoken. All right, I'm going to go work to do, and we got a lunch meeting, all this other stuff. You guys have a great day, great weekend if we don't see you tomorrow. But we will see you tomorrow because the soldiers' sacrifice is important to you, and so you're not going to be a wimp and let the rain deter you. All right? If you have a broken leg or broken arm with a cast that can't get wet, wrap it in a plastic bag. We'll see you tomorrow. The wheat field. Go online to addressinggettysburg.com to the Get Out of the Car Tour section and download the materials so that you can come prepared. And I will see you mañana.